Hello everyone, I'm Adam from Whatculture.com and I'm joined by the Jimmy Olsen to my straight up Batman Alex from Whatculture.com. Hello.
Hi.
You're an enthusiastic ginger journalist. It's perfect.
I'm not annoyed about that.
What?
Well, I'm Superman, you're Batman.
That's right.
So we have to fight for some really contrived reason now.
Absolutely. Well, it's not exactly contrived. It is contrived, but no one won the Oscars predictions. That was a dead stalemate. God, that was a bad time for me. So we decided we're going to take it to Superman versus Batman. Dawn of Justice. Breaking Dawn. Did I? Oh, sod it. Anyway, so we decided we're going to have a smackdown with Batman versus Superman to determine who is the best
superhero predicting person.
Yeah, why not?
Woo!
So we're going to cover the main 5 topics of Batman vs Superman, and those are: who wins out of Batman vs Superman, who dies, will it be any good, domestic and global box office on the opening weekend.
Yes.
So we got 5 points. Let's kick straight into it. Number 1, Alex, is it going to be any good?
What I think or what the critics will think?
What? Tell you what, we'll have to be slightly more objective. What would the critics' consensus be?
I think the critics' consensus is going to be split right down the middle. It's going to be the same as Man of Steel because it's the same director. You know, Zack Snyder's back. He's going to bring all his destructive, explosive stuff. He's going to be subverting comic expectations again. He's going to do everything that made people unsure about the last movie again. Mm-hmm. So you've got that element, and you know, you're going to have the super fans saying it's the best thing ever, but it's probably just going to be a bit overblown, and it's very long as well. It's the best it can hope for is Age of Ultron, which was a movie that everyone saw. Everyone was like, yeah, no, it was a movie. It was all right, but it's probably going to be shit. I'm probably not going to like it.
If you had to guess a Rotten Tomatoes score, just to make it kind of that much harder to predict, at the end of opening weekend, Rotten Tomatoes score, what do you think?
60%.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to say 75%, but
Whoa.
only because everyone's going to give it 3 stars, and that still technically counts as fresh. It's going to get 3 stars across the board, but everyone will be like, it's slightly better than the first.
Look at Spectre, look at Age of Ultron, they plateaued around the 60% mark, 60 to 70%. So.
Well, that's where the battle comes into it. Superman, ow. Next up, domestic box office in the US. What do you think?
The box office for Batman v Superman has been debated a lot. There's been lengthy articles on Forbes, and you know, all this speculation that Warner Brothers are just going to pull the plug because it's going to bomb and everyone's scared. But the tracking and the pre-sale ticket numbers are really high. It's probably going to be, I'm going to go with the very basic tracking numbers, 150 million opening weekend domestically.
Okay, I'm going to go for a risky one. I don't think it's going to crack 100 million in its first weekend.
Wow. I mean, I'm not expecting it to be any good, but it's Batman and Superman. And they love him. He's truth, justice, and the American way, and he's Batman.
I think the curiosity factor will bring a lot of people to the movie, but I also think that the fact that Man of Steel was a big pile of
I think you've been a bit kind there.
will turn a lot of people off, I think. So I'm going to go for a risky one and say it's not going to crack 100 million opening weekend.
Okay.
So based off that, what are your global figures?
350 million. I think it's, got international appeal, and that pretty much, if you're going to get 150 million domestic, I think you can expect a little bit more worldwide in the current climate. So it's going to be good. It's not going to be Star Wars or Jurassic World or anything like that, but it'll do well.
Okay, I'm going to stick with my, I'm going to be consistent, 200 million. I know! What am I even doing?
What are you doing here?
You're tearing me apart, Lisa. I think it's not, I just don't think it's gonna, I honestly think it's the film that no one really wants. Who wants this film?
Batman and Superman fans on Twitter.
I'm a Batman fan, you're a Superman fan, we don't want it.
I like Batman as well, but I don't know. Yeah. I think you're wrong. I think you're as unsuitable for this prediction as Batman is for fighting a god.
Oh my. So round 4, who dies?
No one important is going to die.
No, obviously.
Nobody, because they've got like 10 movies coming out after this. There is no way they're going to kill off Batman, Superman, Lois Lane, Wonder Woman, Lex Luthor, Perry White, or any of these weird supporting characters. Maybe Mark Kent, if they really want to, add the emotional things. The person who I would say is most definitely going to die is Doomsday, because he's the big bad they're all going to fight. And he'll die not by having his neck snapped, because that's already happened to him, because this Doomsday is actually Zod reborn. But it just makes sense. The only curveball they can throw is with Doomsday, because in the comics, Doomsday kills Superman. That's what he was created for. So if they want to be really ballsy, they could kill off Superman and then have him come back for the Justice League.
Oh God, yeah, they could.
Because nobody liked Henry Cavill in Man of Steel. He's the most contentious part of this movie. So just get rid of him. Send him back to Jersey.
We're not going to take him. He betrayed us by moving to Hollywood. No more local boy. I am going to go with Doomsday. He's the only one. Do I want to bet Mark Kent? No, there's not enough going on. Like, the only thing going on is they're building the Justice League. I don't see them doing any kind of other big emotional story. Although it's 2.5 hours long. I don't know, Alex.
I'm going to go with Mark Kent and Doomsday. Because there's a shot in the trailer of her dropping a coffee cup. And that's pretty...
Well...
Yes. Pretty leading, that.
She could have a heart attack, I guess. That's what happens to all the Kents in the comics. Number 5. Who wins the main fight? I mean, there's not going to, like...
They're giving it away! It's in the trailers!
Yeah! They're going to team up to take on Doomsday.
They're marketing with the hashtag who will win, and we know... Hashtag they fight for a bit and then they're mates. That's how it's going to go down.
Alright, so
it's pointless.
But someone is most likely to come out on top before Doomsday arrives. Who's it going to be?
It's probably going to be Batman. Because...
Really?
Yes, he's the addition to the movie. He's the top billed, star. He's the top billed character.
I get
and
it.
he's the one that they're pinning a lot of hopes on. The Batman, the Ben Affleck movie that is, being muted. That's a big thing they're pinning a lot of hopes on. Superman isn't very interesting in this world, and I think they're trying to downplay Cavill a little bit. It definitely feels like a Batman movie with Superman rather than a Superman sequel with Batman. So it makes sense for the man to go against the god. Although, of course, I think the ultimate battle is actually Batman and Superman against Lex Luthor, and that's where the real fight is going to be.
Gosh, I don't think you're right. Obviously...
I disagree.
Yes, I disagree with you entirely. I'm going to say that between the two guys, Superman's going to come out on top because, let us not forget that it is ultimately Man of Steel 2.
I forgot Man of Steel.
Well, you're lucky. Man of Steel 2 is what this film essentially is at its very core. Also, one of the big themes that they're building up in this is Superman cannot be trusted. Superman is a god of destruction. He is death incarnate. Batman is a man saying, as men, we cannot let this, guy loose in our world. And I think if Superman has Batman dead to rights, Batman says something like, go on then, kill me, like you always do. And Superman says, of course I'm not going to kill you, I'm doing what's best for the planet. That's what brings Batman and Superman on the same page.
Nah, it's not a Man of Steel sequel. It's not been a Man of Steel sequel years ago in development. And the whole thing, yes, there is that element of Superman, but there's also the idea of this psycho Batman going around and just beating people up. I think the movie's going to try and play a bit more with, who you side with. You may go in like, oh, Batman, and then you're like, oh, actually Superman's got a point. I think it's not as one-sided as you're painting it, and I think that's why it's going to edge it, but it'll be Batman.
Alright, you think it's Batman, I think it's Superman. Those are our predictions. Check back next week to see, first of all, who's won, but also see more of our coverage of Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Man of Steel 2, Part 2, Breaking Dawn. We will be back. I've been Adam from Whatculture.com. He has been Alex from Whatculture.com, and we'll see you soon.
We should have really worn different t-shirts.
I really like this one, though.
Yeah, but I'm Batman for Superman's for.
You should hide that t-shirt, man.
It's your t-shirt, you gave it to me.